Hey, welcome to Chromebook Underground. I'm your host, Greg, and today we're going to set up WordPress on a Chromebook Crostini container, and we're going to use a one-click install script in order to do it. Now, there's a lot of videos out there on how to install WordPress locally, on your Linux distribution. But this is specifically for Crostini, which comes, with your Chromebook. And a lot of times people use local by Flywheel in order to do that. And hey, this is a great tool. If you can get this to work, that's fine. I can do a local install with it, on my Crostini container. I think there's like an installation of one extra library that you have to put in there to get it to work right, but it works okay. But sometimes it doesn't work, especially if Debian updates to the next version. I think the last time it went from Bullseye to Bookworm, there was some issues even trying to get it to locally, to install just locally. So anyways, and I didn't need all the extra grill that came with it anyway, so instead of using that, I went ahead and put together a script, and you can get the link in the description down below. This is to my GitHub gist, and you can copy and paste that onto the default text editor, that comes with Chromebook, and check out the code yourself. We'll just review this really quick. This is the plain Jane WordPress installer, tested on Debian-based Crostini. But anyways, it's going to do your update and upgrade for you. It's going to add this recommended PHP repository. Okay, and also it's going to install the necessary dependencies and PHP modules. A lot of times in other WordPress installs I've seen, on YouTube, they omit some of these important PHP packages, and as a result, it gives you kind of a broken install of WordPress. Also, this part right here that alters the Apache virtual host is very, very important. Reason being is if they don't, and a lot of times other tutorials have omitted this as well. And as a result, when you get your local install of WordPress, the permalinks don't work properly. That's always a pain, It automatically puts in your username and password, for the database. And you can change this to whatever you want, because once you change it here, it just uses system variables throughout and it'll work properly. Also, here's your username and password for your WordPress admin panel, and once again you can change those to whatever you want, because it's going to use them as a variable throughout down here. Okay, it'll be totally fine. Alright, so that's the review of the code, and like I said, I'm going to leave a link in the description, and also I'm going to leave a link to the article on my Blogger site, so that you can stop by and just look through there. There's also a way you can install it simply using curl. Okay, and I got, of course, the link to the GitHub site, etc. That's totally fine. And I'll leave both of those links in the description down below. Alright, next, we're just basically going to go ahead and set up the container. This is always fun. So here's your Linux development environment. Click Setup. Next. Get that username out there. Go to some like CB. That's fine. I usually like to give myself about 30 gigabytes. It's fine. And once you get it close enough, you can simply use your arrow keys to make it exactly the way you want. I have a pretty fast connection, so it shouldn't take but just a second to set this up. And The script itself automatically does your update upgrade. You know what you do mostly when you start up a fresh container, you know, sudo apt update, upgrade, etc. You don't have to do that. Let's see here, let's clear that out. Alright, cool. We're gonna go here. Alright, here's the script itself. Same thing you're gonna find on my GitHub gist. So we're just gonna copy that and drop it inside the Linux folder here. Or system, I should say. Alright, let's see here. There's the script. Let's make it executable. Alright, it's executable, and we're just going to run it. It's a lot better than me having to type everything out. It's such a pain. I'll tell you the biggest caveat, and of course I had to use Gemini to help me figure this out, was getting the permalinks to work properly. So Google Gemini was a huge help in figuring that out. I'm by no means a Linux expert or a scripting expert, so I do rely on tools, you know, to help me do what I need to do. Like I said, latest version of PHP. I think we're using 8.4. Hey, also, I'll be doing some other videos on Android games that are playable on your Chromebook, as well as other type of scripts I like to run when I do stuff with Linux that helps out as far as you know, doing development stuff. Usually I like to stick with WordPress. It's one of my favorite content managers, but I like to make my own plugins and do my own security. So I'll be posting some videos on that as well. That's it. Now at this point, if you just click this link, it is not going to work, because by default Chromebook uses Google Chrome, you know, as a default browser. Here's the good news though. The script automatically installs Chromium. Once again, that's something that you can alter in the script. You know, you can put Firefox or whatever else it is you want to use instead. Alright, by default it's going to be admin unless you change it. And that's it. You have a working version of WordPress. Now, here's something else that used to be a huge pain as well. Permalinks. Could never get that to work right whenever I would do a local install, but that's been resolved. Once you change the permalink structure, you want to save twice. Alright. And let's test it out. We want to add a post. Get rid of that. Title is going to be post. And we're going to publish this. And voila, permalinks work right. Perfect. Most of the time what I would usually get is like I would either get a JSON edit error, or I would get a 404, one or the other. And so unless I use the default permalink, if I just use the plain permalink it would work, but if I tried to use any type of fancy permalink it would not work. But that's been resolved. So basically that's it. You know, at this point you can test out new themes, plugins. Go ahead and install you know, Visual Code, Microsoft Visual Code, and work with that on your you can do everything. Nice. Alright, thanks for stopping by, and you guys have a nice day.